Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to episode 25 of Goodbye Bullshit, Hello Happiness. Hope you're all well. Today, the topic that I picked is about how loving yourself and self love is different from selfish and being a narcissist. I get this question a lot when I'm working with clients and even online that if I love myself, if I choose myself, isn't that being selfish or being a narcissist? So, the first step, let's define selfish and narcissist. So, as you see the definition, you also understand the difference. So, being selfish means being motivated by personal gain or profit, means that you're doing things that you don't care about the well being of the other person, and you just care about what you are going to gain from the relationship. And also, when we're talking about selfishness, selfishness comes from a place of anger and fear. So it's the energy of anger and fear and not a love based place. And when we're talking about narcissist, similar, it's more about self interest, admiration, and what can I gain from the relationship? What is it for me? And it's all about what can you do for me? So it's all at what the outside can give me and do for me. So it's very different from a place of love. Again, there's anger and fear in narcissism as well. So now, loving yourself, what does that mean? And why is it different? When we love and accept ourselves, meaning we are willing to see everything about ourselves, all those parts that we don't want others to know about, we're trying to hide it, whatever it is, when you are fully accepting yourself and fully loving yourself, then you have more compassion and love for the other people, and not just people, everything around you, because you're understanding and compassionate and kinder, since you know that everyone else is going through the same things as you, and they're going through the struggle of accepting themselves. Also, when you put yourself first, or you're choosing yourself in a self-love situation, it's not from a place that I want to hurt you or I want to gain profit, but it's more that taking care of yourself, choosing what feels good to you, what is more kinder and compassionate to yourself. And you get into that habit of coming from a place of kindness and compassion and love for yourself, you're more willing and accepting to extend it out to the others around you. Now, there are lots of things, again, when as parents or in relationships, people have been used to associating love. If you love somebody, you must suffer and sacrifice. Suffering and sacrifice has nothing to do with love. Again, that comes from a place of lack, energy of fear. Because if I love you and if I come from a place of love, I have compassion and kindness for where you are at. I'm accepting of you totally. And I'm more willing to see you for who you are, accept you for who you are. And anything I give you, anything I do for you, anything I share for you comes from that place of love and compassion and kindness and acceptance. Rather than when you come from a place of lack, when you're coming from a place of sacrifice or um, yeah, a place of sacrifice that has energy of lack, meaning that I'm coming to you, I love you, but and I'm sacrificing myself for you in order to gain something. So, if you look at the definition of selfishness, which is motivated by personal gain and profit, then sacrifice and sacrifice is more in line with selfishness rather than a place of love. Because in sacrificing, you're trying to gain something back from the other person, from the situation. You're trying to gain either their love, their support, their respect. And we feel that by sacrificing, we're going to gain something. Now, in case of when we're parents and we're saying, well, isn't it selfish of me to put myself first? In any relationship, you have to think about it when you are on a plane, in any emergency situation. They always say you need to take care of yourself first. Lifeguards have to make sure when they're going to get someone that's drowning that they get a hold of the person so that the person is not able to drown the person that's trying to save them. When you are on a plane, the first thing they say, if the oxygen mask drop, whatever happens, make sure first you have your own oxygen mask. You're taking care of yourself first before you take care of other people. So why is that? Because if you are not feeling whole, if you are not in your full energy of love and fully supporting, loving, and accepting yourself, there's no way that you can extend that to the other person. You can go through the motions and say it that I love you or I accept you. But really, if you are not willing to take care of yourself, love yourself, and choose yourself, it makes it more difficult to truly and fully be there for others, love them, and accept them, and come from a place of kindness and compassion. So, next time that you are in that place, or if anybody tells you, well, you're just being selfish if you love yourself, you have some definitions and you can talk to them and let them know why loving yourself is very different from selfishness and narcissism. Now, the other part of loving yourself that I talk about is choosing yourself. Now, in choosing yourself, again, also it goes back to the scenario of the oxygen mask. You need to be able to choose yourself and choosing what feels good to you in a situation. And the reason that's important is that when you are looking at your choices and you're trying to figure out where to go, which direction to go, if you're not coming from a place of love and you're trying to either come from a place that you want to be perfect for others to love you, support you, then you're not making your decision based on your heart. You're making a decision based on, again, what can I gain from the outside, which is, again, goes back to being selfish. What can I gain? And I'm doing this for this, I'm making this choice so that this person or this situation can give me this. But when you are choosing from a place of love and you're choosing what feels good to you in your heart, that's a place that you're just choosing simply because it feels good and right in your heart. You're not thinking about what am I going to gain? Is this person, is this situation is going to give me this? You're not thinking about expectation. It's more just from a place that I am going in this direction because it simply just feels right in my heart. It feels good in my heart. And another aspect of that is that the more you do that, the more trust you're going to build for yourself, for your knowing, and for the world around you. Now, choosing yourself means that in our lives, again, depending on your family situations, culture, everyone says, well, you got to put family first. You got to put your kid first. You got to put this first. You got to put that first. And there's all this outside consideration. So what ends up happening, again, it goes back to sacrifice, that you sort of lose different aspects of yourself. You lose parts of yourself because you're not allowing those parts to express themselves, express what they desire, what they want, what feels good to them. So again, you're not going from your heart and you're choosing situations in order to please others. But choosing yourself means that I'm choosing myself in this situation. I'm choosing what feels good in my heart. And it's not, again, coming from a place that I'm choosing myself in order to hurt you or I'm not being considerate of you. Is that I see you, I know where you're standing, I know where you're coming from, and there isn't a but, and this is where I'm at. And in order for me to feel good and comfortable in this situation for my own well being, I need to choose myself. I need to do this for myself. So it's a little bit different than when you put a but that I don't care what you're doing and I'm going to go this way. It's more that I see you, I acknowledge you, I respect where you're at, and there's always an and there. The and is very important. And I'm here, and from where I'm standing, from what I'm seeing, from my perspective, I need to choose myself. I need to choose this aspect in order for me to feel whole, in order for me to feel good. And the other part that choosing yourself is very important is for healing aspects of it. If you have come from a trauma based childhood and a lot has happened, and you've gotten in those modalities and you're in those formed those habits and behaviors of either sacrifice or anger or fear, and you're either trying to protect yourself from the outside world or you're trying to gain something from that outside world in terms of safety, security, and love, then in those trauma based, you didn't get to choose yourself. Um, I always talk about your little kids that are running around in there. When I'm doing my work, I separate them so my clients see it better. But those inner kids that you have at those different ages that experienced the traumas, they didn't feel that they had a choice. They didn't feel they were chosen. And because of that, again, fear based and anger based, or just pure out of fear and being safe, They chose the outside world. Now, when you start to choose yourself, meaning you're choosing those parts, you are slowly letting go of the anger, letting go of the fear, because when you're choosing yourself, you're coming from a place that I'm safe. I'm safe to choose myself. I'm safe to love myself. When you're choosing yourself, you're saying that I can forgive. I can forgive the past because I see now that even back then, I had a choice and I didn't see it. And now I'm choosing me. I'm choosing what feels good to me. I'm choosing myself. So spend some time with those definitions of selfishness, narcissism, and see the difference and get in touch with all your parts and see how loving yourself can impact your behaviors, your relationships, even. Again, if you're coming from a place of sacrifice, then you're expecting others to sacrifice. If you're coming from a place of doing things for others out of expectation, and a lot of times people are not even seeing that they have expectation, but there's an expectation that when I need you, you're going to be there. When and I'm raising my hand, I've been guilty of that as well. But when you do that, then from those expectations, that comes from a place of fear, from a place of lack. But if you're coming from a place of love in those relationships, and it's okay to get sad, it's okay to say, yes, I want this, and I'm going to still be okay not receiving it. Meaning that I understand that I want somebody with me right now. I want somebody here supporting me. I want somebody to hold my hand. I want somebody to hug me. And if that person is for whatever reason incapable of being there, you also get to see that part of you that is wanting you to choose them, and you can say to that part, I choose you. I choose myself in this situation. I'm going to give myself that love and support that I need. Because the reality of it is that, yes, it's nice to have the people there, it's nice to have the support, and not you cannot have somebody be there with you 100% of the time, all the time. Uh, they might be going through something. They might have their own issues. They might have their own demons. They might have their own things that they're trying to work on and heal. And through that process, they're incapable of or not able to give you that love or support that you need right at that moment. Um, and the more you get into the habit of, again, loving yourself, accepting yourself, acknowledging yourself, choosing yourself, then that lack starts to go away, that lack starts to heal, and you sort of are filling your own bucket with your own love and support. And that's the part that I'm choosing me, so that you're filling up your own bucket with your love and support, acceptance, acknowledgement. And the more you fill your own bucket, the more you love yourself, the more you feel fulfilled, you are more able to be present for others in your life and extend that love, compassion, kindness, acceptance to them. I'm hoping that this gave you guys some good information. I know it's a big deal for a lot of people because nobody wants to be labeled as selfish, labeled as narcissist. So now that the definitions hopefully has helped you to see the difference between loving yourself, choosing yourself, being kind and compassionate with yourself, how that is totally different from being selfish and narcissist. Again, it goes back to what is the energy behind your actions? What is the energy behind your choices? What is the energy behind what you're saying and doing? And if that there's an energy of lack, fear, anger, then that falls more into the category of being selfish. But it's if the energy behind that is more of acceptance, acknowledgement, and love, and allowing, even because again, if you want that from others, you want others to respect you, you want others, you're going to be respecting of their perspectives and what they have. And so if you come from a place of love and acceptance and acknowledgement, that's more self-love and you choosing you. And in all of this, in loving yourself too, one key point too is that we are all responsible for our own shit. Meaning that at the end of the day, whatever I am feeling, whatever I am choosing, whatever I'm going through, it's from my perspective, and I am responsible totally for my emotions, my actions, my words, and what is coming. And make others in your life, in your relationships, give them that opportunity and power that they are responsible for themselves as well. They are responsible for their lives. They are responsible for their choices and actions and their experiences. Because after all, those experiences that they're having is entirely their choice, their choosing, the lens and perspective that they're putting in that situation, as well as what experience they're choosing to have and what they want to experience. So give the gift of responsibility to everybody and give the gift of love and acceptance to everybody by you choosing to take responsibility of your life, by you choosing yourself, by you choosing to love yourself, accept yourself, acknowledge yourself, and choosing what feels good in your heart, not in your mind. Choosing what feels good based on love and acceptance, not motivated by gain or expectations. I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed this topic. I'll be talking more about self love and suffering and sacrifice in upcoming weeks. Hoping to have some other people, guests, to come on the show and have a better discussion. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Thank you, as always, for joining me today or watching. If you're watching this later, thank you. Thank you for your love and support and sharing this. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my YouTube channel or the podcast so that you always get the information firsthand. Thank you guys. Sending you much love. Appreciate you. Bye. Happy Tuesday.